Cue lights. Test 1, 2. Test. Ready in 3, 2, 1. This is Blind Interviews. What's up, blind viewers? All right. I am joined again, yes, again, by the Unabassist. All right, this time we got a little suggestion from our good old friend, Billy Downunder. With the recent passing of Malcolm Young, Billy said, "Come on, man, do an AC/DC thing." So, this one's for you, Billy. Ugh. Okay, so, well, we really can't talk about anything until we do this first. Got to start this off right, the way we always do. 1, 2, 3. Almost lost my headphones.
The little AMSR for you.
Yummy. All right. Now we can officially start. All right, well, I guess, first of all, I'll say that I was always a big AC/DC fan. And like most of the bands that I like a lot of their older stuff, of course. But unlike a lot of other bands that I like, I did actually continue liking them on up and through their catalog. There isn't really a whole lot of stuff or a point where I got and I was listening and was going, nah. You know, unlike the Metallicas and stuff, I got to a certain point, and even some of the Iron Maiden stuff like that, I got to this certain point, I was like, it's still okay, but it's not as good as the old stuff. Whereas AC/DC with me, I always kind of stuck.
AC/DC always wrote stuff to play live. Everything they wrote had the intention to be played live. They started out with, well, they had a different singer, but then they had Bon Scott, and they went for, I'm going to guess, 8 years? Didn't he die like 80, 81?
I forget.
But Bon Scott
somewhere
passed.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Bon Scott passed, and they got a new singer, and then they evolved, and they got better. Yeah. And it's a shame that they needed a death for the evolution, and I don't know what to say now, because it's a hard way to go. Do they stop? Do they evolve and continue? I'd be eager to see what evolves if they want to continue.
Yeah, that is rough. I mean, when you got, because
they're going to be changing out Brian.
It's basically, the Brian thing. But I mean, with AC/DC, it's basically like Van Halen. You got the two brothers there, and they're like, oh man, and one passed, and and then you add on top, like you just said, the singer's got all his problems, and so what will they do?
Earlier on, like in, what was that, like 2010, I guess Malcolm was having problems, and a nephew stepped in.
Yeah.
Stevie Young stepped in, and to be honest, I don't think anybody really knew. I had to read it on Wikipedia to figure, so I'm wondering, like, are they going to pull another family member up? And it's sad, especially because we're close in age to him.
Yeah. So I guess they were Scottish.
They born in Scotland.
Scottish, and then
in the early 50s.
And then when Malcolm was 10 in 63 is when they moved to Australia.
Correct. So I'm sorry, Billy Downunder. They're Scotsmen. They got the kilts and stuff, yeah.
But they did when I guess Malcolm was 20 and Angus was 18. He would have been 18 is when they started the band. So, yeah, I guess that would officially make it a Australian band, but they are Scottish dudes.
Everybody else was Australian born.
Right.
Bon Scott was one of your people.
Yes, he was. But yeah, it was always a good band in my eyes. I mean, I liked them a lot.
Just to reflect a little, one of the stories I've often heard was that Angus's older sister told Angus he ought to wear his school uniform on stage because he would come home from school and go to band practice. Now, if he was 18 when it started, how many times was he held back?
Yeah, right.
So all you quitters, just take a look at that for a second. This guy was 18, still in a school uniform, performing, and, well, you see where they're at today, but...
Yeah. I guess his sister had a lot to do with it, because I guess that's where they got the name, right?
Yeah, I guess the story goes it was on her sewing machine, and I'm assuming she was making uniforms for him or costumes or whatnot, and that's where they saw it. Ooh, I got to get this little bit left.
Ooh. Waste not, want not.
The good stuff's on the bottom.
Yes. All right, let's see. AC/DC, I saw them, I think, 3 times throughout my long life on this planet so far. And I will have to say, did not disappoint either time that I saw them.
Who was singing when you saw him?
Brian.
All 3 times?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get to see the great, I guess, late great Vaughn. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of awesome and eerie at the same time when Brian started and they started doing, Hell's Bells and all that stuff. It was like, whoa, this guy's pretty awesome.
I think I saw them when they came out on the Back in Black tour. I remember Angus beating the crap out of that bell at the very beginning of Hell's Bells.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Even later on, I mean, as he got older, I guess he's a couple years older than us.
He's 2 years younger than Malcolm, and Malcolm was 64. He's 62?
So 62. Oh, okay. So, yeah, about 8 years, I guess, he got on us. But, yeah, even the later on, man, he was still flying around and running around and banging his head and doing the curly spin on the stage.
In his early days, it should have given him a concussion.
I know, man.
In his later days, it should have thrown out his hips.
Yeah. But I remember when I saw him, I mean, he would get on one of them big, giant dudes. He'd jump on his shoulders, and the guy would walk up and down through the crowd, and he would just play, and his head was still going. And then he would go back off stage out of sight, suck on some oxygen, and come out and have at it, man. And the sweat was pouring, and he'd come out in his little schoolboy suit with the hat and everything on. And as the night progressed, he had just the little shorts on. His shirt was going and everything. He'd start peeling and sweating and everything. But I'll tell you what, man, that dude never, ever stopped. From the time that them lights came on until the last song and they left, he never stopped moving. Never. It was amazing. Made me tired and sore just watching the old dude.
I really like their more up-tempo, driving energy kind of stuff. Stuff like, most anything off of Powerage. Anything off of Back in Black.
Yeah.
Whew.
And it's funny, too, because, I mean, the stuff is, learn, 3-4 chords and just change them around in different patterns and play them in different tempos, and you got AC/DC songs, man.
It was rough. It was raw. Fast and easy. Like the women that chased him. No.
Yeah. I mean, the little, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not real hard, but that's like the hardest parts of stuff. The rest is just, the same 3 or 4 chords over and over again.
Keep it simple, make it fun.
And yeah, and it kept me. It was awesome, man. It was definitely something. Like I said, even the Metallicas and all them other bands, I was like, oh yeah, and then they got to that certain point. I was like, well, okay, I'm still a fan, I guess, but I'm not really that into this. And then it's like, okay, this really blows now. Now they're coming back. And with AC/DC, man, it was like, boom, poof, yep, dig them.
Every album had one song that made it to radio play.
Yeah, that's true.
You can see where, like I said, they evolved at one point. Well, that was when they had to change out singers, so they took that next step and evolved a little bit. But you can see where they put out what they wanted to put out, found out, hey, this is what people like, so they kind of tailor it to see if they could sell it. And then, then Bond passes. Well, no, Highway to Hell was a really good album.
It was a really good album.
And then the follow-up, Back in Black, holy cow, how to come back swinging. That was... But you can see, once they had Brian Johnson, they saw what worked with Back in Black. They tried to recreate some of that stuff with For Those About to Rock.
Yep.
Then I'm a little sketchy on what ones come next. I know there was Flick of the Switch and Fly on the Wall, or was that just one of those 12-inch singles? I can't remember. There was the Black Ice was like one of the later ones.
Later, yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, they always kept my interest, and that's hard to do for a band, especially that's been.
Oh, Who Made Who and
that long? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with Thunderstruck on it, and I'm a little sketchy from there of what they had and what they did. They kind of started coming out of the charts, but I thought they had at least one song that made some kind of radio play from each album.
So they, I think they had They had a couple different drummers, didn't they?
Apparently Phil Rudd, their original drummer, or the one everybody knows from the albums, more or less, he got busted for marijuana, methamphetamines,
drugs.
Yeah, and at the time,
they had that dude,
Chris Slade.
That was the big bald dude, right?
Yeah. Simon Wright came in for a while, according to this. Simon Wright came in at 83 to 89. And then Chris Slade, 89 to 94. That was the bald guy. I thought he was from Midnight Oil, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah,
another Aussie band.
I knew they had went through a couple drummers, but yeah. So 3 of them all together, I guess. Well, basically.
And they have returners, guys that return later to.
So all in all, like I said, I mean, good band in my opinion. They stood the test of time. They held up well, in my opinion. Again, I hate to repeat myself, but even some of the longer standing bands that the Metallicas and all them, they had their ups and downs for me, but AC/DC kind of kept it even keel, in my opinion, for me anyway, in my tastes.
You can tell when somebody's made it big, or when their music is a big part of the genre, when you get major touring tribute bands.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
There's locally here in Pennsylvania, there's a band that shows up quite frequently, Back in Black.
Yep.
You YouTubers might want to look up the all-girl Hell's Bells that do an AC/DC tribute. That seems to be a thing lately. All-girl tribute bands to metal. Iron Maidens, Judas Priestess.
Yeah.
The Hell's Bells.
There's another one.
Yeah.
There's another AC/DC tribute band that runs around here. I can't remember what they're called now. But yeah, we got a couple tribute bands around here. Maiden Iron is one.
Yeah.
Little Kiss.
Was it Bonfire? Bonfire, or
there was another one. It was another play on a song title. I can't remember though. I don't know if it's the Jaeger or the Age. It's slipping my mind.
It's the Jaeger.
Jaeger. This video is also brought to you by, not really, but features Rickenbacker.
The weapons of mass distortion. In fact, I believe when AC/DC first, when they first got together, was it Cliff Williams, their bass player?
Cliff.
He played one of the rifles back here.
The Rick.
Now, there's a picture of him with one. I don't know if he played it all the time, but
Hey, he had one. That's all that counts. Right? Right.
this is correct.
All right, well, I mean, what else is there to say about AC/DC? It was an amazing band.
I'll be interested. Bleh.
That's easy for you to say.
I'll be interested to see what they come up with if they continue on.
Yeah, that's going to be something to definitely keep an eye on.
If this is their chance to bow out, by all means, you guys fought the fight. They did their best and
definitely
made a hell of a dent.
No shame in it at all,
No.
man. They're not young guys anymore, and if ever there's a time to do it, I mean, your singer's all messed up and your guitar player brother just passed away. Yeah, writer. So, yeah, if that happens, it happens. It's sad, but we still have a lot of music left over to carry them on.
I would like to make a suggestion to any of the people in the band AC/DC. Find young people and teach them stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Angus, teach people stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to be an Yngwie Malmsteen or a Steve Vai type player to make it big. Not to take anything away from Angus, he was definitely awesome guitar player. But yeah, you don't have to be outrageous and one of those technical wizards and all that,
Yeah.
And you don't have to be dumb about it either and just drum, 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 drum. So I hope that satisfied your little thirst there, Billy. I definitely appreciate the suggestion for a video. And before we go, this one here, here's to you, Malcolm. Rest in peace, buddy. Appreciate all your music.
Have a drink on.
Ask you to buy stickers or send me Patreon money, but I will ask you to click that like button for me if you don't mind. And if it's your first time stopping by, go ahead and click that subscribe. Might do something else you might like. Leave a comment below. What's your favorite AC/DC song? What do you think is going to happen with the future of AC/DC? Do you think they're going to continue, bow out gracefully since the time is right? So go ahead, leave your comments below. Thanks everybody for watching. This is Blind Views, and as always, that's the way we see it.
What we do here is go back.